and welcome everyone. It is Wednesday, which means it is time for another mini mayhem. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. It is so great to see you. Heads up, I have been playing around with my settings because I am getting notifications that every so often things are dipping. So if there is some buffering, please bear with me. I have a feeling that I might be calling my cable provider after this to find out why this signal keeps dropping. So fingers crossed that we'll be good and everything's going to go all right. Let me know if you need any adjustments in terms of sound quality or anything like that. It's been a technological morning, let's just put it that way. But today I am very excited to bring to you the Pathfinder Battles Darklands Rising. This set is coming out in January. Well, it is January. Hello. It's coming out January 20th. And it's one of these sets that I really am excited to share with you because of the variety and the quality you're going to be seeing in the miniatures that are involved with this. So the plan today is basically I'm going to show you the Mengkare as well as the preview box, which is basically sort of a highlights reel of the miniatures that you can expect to find in the bricks and the boosters for Darklands Rising. And there are some nuances that are going to go into this set because there's some, let's call them upgrades that are happening with this particular Pathfinder Battles. Now, before we get all into that, I'm going to pull the typical YouTuber stuff. I'm going to say hi if you're new here, welcome. And if you haven't yet, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. It also helps to ring that notification bell so you get a notification when we go live for streams like this, as well as Much Ado About Gaming. And it'll also let you know when we do uploads of things like our HeroClix unboxings with Scott Porter. Let's see here. I'm looking over at the chat, and hello to those of you jumping in, saying hi. Yes, stream starts at 12 p.m. Eastern Time every single Wednesday. So hello, Viper Taha, hello, Patrick, hello, Federico. Good to see you all. Thank you so much. So the plan today is basically I am going to show you these miniatures, go through the names and everything like that, give you the breakdown in terms of what you can expect from this particular line for Darklands Risings. Also sort of give you just a brief sort of lore setting type of concept to give you a sense as to why these miniatures are like they are. The Pathfinder Battles Darklands Rising is really, it's a cool environment, quite frankly. It's I don't play Pathfinder. I really want to. That's sort of one of my 2021 hopes. I don't want to say resolutions, but it's definitely a hope. But reading up on it, it's one of those things where it has this sort of underworld-esque quality to it. So think caverns and caves, and there's different layers to it. And as a result, you have creatures that are sort of a mix of some that are more savage and primal, and some that are far more sophisticated and have civilizations and everything like that. So it's a really interesting mix of creatures and characters and everything. And I'm excited to bring them to you because the detail you're going to see on these miniatures, as well as the paint quality, and this is speaking as a mini painter, it's like big thumbs up here. So first I thought it would be great to take a look at the Mengkare. All right, so this is the premium set that goes along with the Pathfinder Battles Darklands Rising. And it is beautiful. I jokingly say I'm the mother of dragons. Let's just say I'm happy to have a golden worm of a dragon in my clutches right now because it really is fantastic. Patrick, I have no say over what gets made in terms of the tiles, but I see your comment in there. Thank you so much for commenting. The future will tell. So the other thing I've also done is I've resituated my cameras a little bit to kind of give you more of a head-on approach close up for the miniatures too. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this is going to work out and everyone likes this setup because that's something, if we're liking the look of it, then we're going to keep going with it. But first, like I said, I want to show you the Mengkare first because it is stunning. All right, it is a beautiful, beautiful figure. Now, when you go into your FLGS, make sure you look for this purple and gold theme box. All right, this is the Darklands Rising packaging. Want to make sure you are aware of what it looks like. And as you can see, it's a nice size box here. You get the artwork on the sides, same on both sides. Back of the box gives you the logo and some gorgeous artwork from Pathfinder. But let's take a look at what is actually inside the box. Hello, Ryan. It is going. It has been a morning of getting things resituated because I did also get my new computer. So it's been getting everything resituated and replotted. So I'm going to take this out. It's a good size box too. And it comes in a clamshell. So you have the plastic clamshell, all right, clear plastic. let me move the box over here, out of the way. And let me get this out for you so you can get a better view of this. Here we go. Sorry about all the bumps and bangs. It's just sort of the way it's going. All right, so here it is out of its box. And as you can see, you have this vibrant yellow gold as the main color, and then this paler, almost white gold look going on down the throat and across the belly and underneath. If I can get a little, there we go. And underneath there, you can see. All right. And the tail itself is again that vibrant, vibrant gold. And you see there's all this fantastic detail work with the scales. And I love the wings are just such a cool design. It's almost like feathers. And they're outstretched with black tipped talons at the end. And they all get that little tipping. Each one of these little, I'm going to call them feathers to the wings, but they all get that little tipping going on here. And the eyes are this, almost this orangey red. So it's a very piercing glare that this figure has. And if you want measurements, I have measurements for you. I actually brought out my handy dandy. Let me see. Oh, the chat is getting active here. Let's see. Shazam says, that's so cool. Can't wait for the adult gold mini. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things coming down the way for 2021. I will definitely say that one. It is. James is saying it is shiny. The light is doing this justice. Okay, this is not, I have played around with my lighting. This is, no matter what lighting I have put this into, it has this fantastic sheen to it. It looks metallic in every single bit of lighting. It's not like I've overamped or anything like that. So, in terms of overall height, you get it at about, you can see here, 11 inches, okay? Top part of the wings. And then the wings across, you're looking at, well, if we do it this way, again, it's in that range where it's about 11, almost a foot across. And if you want the height of it from base to head, that is standing at about 8.5. All right. The base, as you can see, is clear. This is something to keep in mind. You're going to be seeing these clear bases on miniatures as they come out. The black bases are going to become a thing of the past. So if it's something where you buy a reprint and it has a black base, it's because it's sort of towards the end of the reprints and the shifting over to the clear bases. But everything is going to start having this fantastic clear base. And on the clear base, you get the information. You can see it right there. It has here, and it's written out, it has DR, short for Darklands Rising, Mengkare, Great Wyrm, Gold, Dragon. So you get all this set information on it right there. And you also have it standing up on this super craggy rock. Texture is highlighted. So the rock itself is this mid-tone brown, and the highlighting is almost this gray-toned taupe. Is the best way to describe that one. But you can see it really is a beautiful piece. And I'm going to pull a medium from the Darklands Rising set just to give you a sense of scale here. So you can see this mini is medium in comparison to the Mengkare. It's definitely, it's an impressive size. And the thing that I appreciate very much about this particular one is that not only is this going to be fantastic for when you're running a Pathfinder game, it's also going to be a wonderful display piece. So if it's something where you want to have sort of a collection going on and showcasing different pieces, this is definitely one I would happily put up as a showcase item because of all the detail, because of this metallic glow that it has in its paint. And even the positioning of it. I mean, if you take a look here, let me show you the back now. You see there is this motion, action within the tail itself. It almost looks like the tail is ready to unfurl and whip at someone. So it really is. It's huge. It's a huge base. And I'm going to show you a few more. But this is the Mengkare. Now, bit of information on the Mengkare. You can place a pre-order now. This means go to your FLGS. Always, 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 always check with your FLGS first. See if they are offering things such as curbside pickup, shipping to home, or schedule appointments, or if they're open, that type of thing. I know in this day and age, we have to be careful, so please reach out to them. If you don't know if you have an FLGS near you, well, that's where you go to this link right down here, whizkids.io/local store. You type in your information, it'll give you a list of stores near you. If for some reason you do not have an FLGS friendly local game store near you, that's where you can hop on over to this link right here, shop.whizkids.com. All right, you can place your pre-order there if you don't have an FLGS local to you. So that's your other option. So you can still place your pre-order, and this again is going to be releasing January 20th in this year, 2021. I keep forgetting we're in 2021. But that is a Mengkare, and its MSRP, suggested MSRP, is $89.99, which quite frankly, with the heft of this, it's a solid plastic. It's not that light type. It's got some weight to it. Between the heft to it, the design, the motion, the shape of it, it really is a beautiful piece. I mean, I have a bad habit of this. I'm probably going to keep it out on display for my own personal use, just because I truly... It's the sculpt that just catches my eye. It's just something different. It's, perched on this rock, ready to pounce almost. And I agree. I'm looking at Frederico, your comment. I love the contrast between these two. You go from this bright orangey gold to this paler yellow gold. It's lovely. It really is done well. And hello for those of you jumping in. And, it's okay, Ryan. You can rewatch later. It's totally okay. This is a huge base, because here's another, or is it gargantuan? I take it back. No, gargantuan. So here's a huge, and this is gargantuan. So you have that. I don't have the stat block for this in front of me is the issue. But this is the Mengkare. So this is gargantuan. And again, you can see the clear and everything like that. So I'm going to put this fellow back over here. Scoot someone forward. And you can see here, I have the other minis that I'm going to feature for you today sitting right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly check the chat. Hello, Jonathan and Shazam. Let's just put it this way. Get ready for lots of dragons. I will say that 2021, get ready for lots of dragons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to the new overhead approach that I have. So those of you who are my regulars and you have seen, the shows in the past, I have been fiddling with my cameras. So let's see how this works out for us. So you can see right here, let me just adjust it up a little bit. So it's not the full line. These are more of like the highlighted minis that I want to share with you all today. They are coming from what we are calling our preview box, and you're going to see other influencers sharing this preview box as well. The preview box is not something that is going to be sold in stores. It's basically a way to ensure that you're seeing some of the really cool miniatures you can expect in the bricks and in the boosters. But all of these minis here that you're seeing on the table right now, Mengkare aside, these are all part of the brick booster setup. So they are going to be part of your pulls. Now, this is going to be coming in this particular box. All right, so this is the booster for Darklands Rising. And you're gonna notice it is slightly larger than the traditional boosters. The price is also $19.99. Now let me explain why. What is going on with this particular line is that we have changed the selection in what you are going to potentially find in these boosters. Normally it has been, a large mini and then a mix of 3 small/medium. In this case, the new setup is going to be, you have two things that are going to crop up with this one. So the first permutation could be, you're going to have a box that has 2 medium or small along with 2 large figures. Hence the box increase in size. Physically, it needs to be a bigger box because of this. The other option is going to be 3 medium or small figures, mix of that, and 1 huge figure. All right, so you're going to be getting not just an increase in size, but also a variety of what you could potentially pull from your boosters. And then it comes down to if you are going to get a brick that has 8 boosters in a brick. If you get 4 bricks together, that gives you 32 boosters and a total of 128 figures. Now, the line itself is 52 figures, all right? I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you today, but because there's been a shift, I want to explain this to you. And I want you to see why I'm excited, why I'm eager to show these to you, because this is sort of an upgrade that as a miniature collector myself, oh, there's some really stunning miniatures in this set. So let me see here. Yes, the Year of the Dragon, Shazam. And oh yes, hello Ron, hello. Christopher saying, what? Yes, I speak only the truth for you. So that being said, because of the new variety and the new options you're going to be getting in these, keep in mind if you go to buy a brick, that is going to be $159.92 suggested MSRP. And again, the booster MSRP suggested is $19.99. But that, couple dollar bump up is because you are now getting the option of either 2 large minis along with 2 medium or small, or you get the huge with a mixture of 3 small and or medium miniatures in the boosters. So it sort of even increases the anticipation of which kind of booster are you going to get, not just which minis, but which kind. Are you going to open it up and then you get the huge in there, which that's always a fun one. Or are you going to get the 2 large ones, and what mix is that going to be? So that's what's happening with this particular set. That's why I wanted to make sure that I took a moment to sit down and explain to you how this dynamic has shifted a little bit. And I am so excited to show you the miniatures that I have from the preview box. Again, everything you see from the preview box will be in the boosters in some shape or form. In terms of what you're going to get, well, that's the unexpected fun part. And honestly, I very much enjoy opening up the boosters and everything like that. In terms of Zero Cool, I hope I said that right. I'm honestly not sure how that's going to skew the uncommons count. That's not information I had on hand handy. I could look into it though and find out about the rarity distribution. So I will take a look in terms of the distribution for rarities and get back to you. If anything, I could always tweet it on Twitter type of thing, just as an update when I go to announce the VOD. And I say let's get into it and take a look at each of these. So what I am going to do, and I am going to have to adjust my camera because in terms of showing you detail when it goes from the small, mediums, up to the bigger ones, you're going to have to bear with me because every so often I am going to need to fix my focus so that it works for the size that is going to be displayed in front of you. So what I'm going to do first is work my way from smallest up to, well, technically hugest, but I'm going to work my way up. So right now in this set I have, it looks like mediums. Yeah, so we're going to start with mediums. So I'm going to start with the mediums we have here. And let's see here. I think I'll start with this one. So this is the, and again, clear base, but as you can see, I need to fix my focus. So give me just a moment. Ooh, almost there. There, okay. So here is the first one. And on the base, you can see this is a Drow Priestess. And again, you have that DR. And the number count for that one is 21 of 50. But here she, right, my left is my right is my left. But here is the Drow Priestess. And you can already see, first of all, just the detail in these robes. You have that gold edging happening over that sort of like a plum purple. As well as, finding my sweet spot, the metallic details with the shoulder plates, the helmet, and the mace. So the details on this have been amped up big time. You're going to see there are more of these little touches, and this is something I've been greatly enjoying. And if it's a matter of, this happens often, if you see you have something that is slightly bowed or bent, all you need to do to fix this with your miniatures is get yourself a hairdryer and don't hold it right up to the hairdryer, all right? What you want to do is basically just have it so that it warms up the plastic enough so that you can position it where you want it to go and then quickly dunk it into ice water, and that will fix the memory of the plastic so that it goes back out straight again. But this is the Drow Priestess. So that's one of the minis you will be seeing in this. And she is just, I'm trying to get you so you can see from the different angles too. She really is a lovely, lovely figure. Probably one of my more favored from this group, I will say that. Let me see here, we got the chat going. I will speak to, okay, so James has a good question. Will the D&D ones be going this? I will speak to those when the time comes for those particular sets. Right now we're going to focus on the Pathfinder ones. And let's see. I do not have that, Patrick. And here we have the next one we're going to take a look at. This is the Tanka Jinx Eater. Which... You know what, I'm going to shift this slightly in my direction here. And as you can see here, just in the pants alone, you can already see we have these pops of color, the seafoam green striping with the tan. And here it is. You can see its face. You have that lovely effect of the translucent plastic holding the skull. I love the overcoat. You even get the buttons on the overcoat. And if you look, get a little bit more position for the belt, you can see the belt even has a few things hanging off of it. Turn it to the other side. You have this lovely touch of a parrot on the shoulder. So that you're going to see more of these little fine details added in, these little bit of extra touches to really create these unique characters. And even the texture in the feet. So that is this particular miniature. Again, another medium. Moving along. This one I think is absolutely so cool. This one is the Erdafan Tormentor. Hope I'm saying that right. And you have to see this. So here you have it. It is that translucent plastic, so that you can actually see through the figure. And it has those, you know, big eyes, wide open, the tongue lolling out. You can see there's even more detail going around. And the sword has this slash mark going through it. So it actually is, I'm trying to see, there you go. You can see I can put my thumbnail through it. So there's this one. But I just think it's so cool that you get this clear plastic going on. Basically to capture this type of character in game. So there is this one. Now keep in mind, if you want more information in terms of lore and everything, alas, poor Yorick, I just saw that comment. Good reference! If you want more of a lore-based thing for these, do be sure to check out Gallant Goblin. Theirs will be coming out soon with the unboxing with more miniatures involved in this line. This is sort of the highlight reel, and then you can jump over to Gallant Goblin. I want to say this evening or tomorrow is when they're planning on having theirs come out. But do be sure to go over and check them out later if you want more of the lore-based detail. I'm looking more towards what you can expect from these miniatures, just purely in terms of the features and the collectible factor. So there's that one. Moving along. Now we're going to go for, this is the Zyriac. Zyriac? Something along those lines. Like I said, I am not familiar with Pathfinder. I am trying to get more familiar with Pathfinder. I want to get more familiar. So if the pronunciations are slightly off, my apologies. But here's the thing that I think is worth noting. You're going to see a lot more color being put to use. And personally, I love seeing that. You have this mix of different greens, the different reds, even these touches of light blues and yellows. Let me give them a spin around here. Show you the back. So you have this insectoid look to it. Almost like a praying mantis. But again, you're getting all of this. Look at the detail here. Just in the back there. They really are. Like, these are minis I would leave out for display purposes, because of all those extra touches that are going into this. I'm going to turn it to the front so you can see, again, this little extra detail with the, let me fix the focus just a little bit. I want to get this closer is what I'm doing. Let me just adjust the focus again. Here, that's more what I want. Gives you a better sense of all those little extra little. So there is that one. We have a few of these, so I want to give you a glimpse of them. Let's see here. Will the Pathfinder dragons be to scale like the D&D ones? For example, the red is the biggest of the chromatic dragons from what I've seen. Like the red sculpt's bigger than the white and black. You know, again, I am not sure how they are approaching this one. I don't have say in the whole design factor. I can find out though. I get to show you what is to be expected when you go to purchase this in store. And we do work with Paizo. They have back and forth. They have discussions about everything. So here is the next one. And this is the Blood Mist. So this has the clear plastic going on, or the translucent plastic, I should say. So you get a little bit of light play that goes through this. And in the right lighting, it has almost like this glowing effect, which I find very cool. But I wanted you to see the side profile here because of how the jaw is wide open. And there's this extra detail of this black to bring out the texture of the rib cage, as well as some highlighting to bring out the texture of the form itself. But you can see it's this billowing smoke-like form at the base, and then it takes on its skeletal appearance towards the top. It is nice. I agree, the consummate nerd. This is another one of my favorites from this set because of, it just has such a gorgeously creepy look to it. It really, I mean, you can set this on the table and players are going to be slightly concerned. Yep, this is a good one. And the concept nerd, yes, there's a lot more details that are being put into this one. And that's what I really want to showcase for you today, so you can see everything that's going into this one. All right, moving along to another medium. This one is the Siora Quindove Pathfinder. And she's the one I pulled out earlier. But talk about details here. I love this pose, like this searching pose. Something new, something different. But there's a lot going on here. Like this, the little strip of fabric tied around the one boot. The pouches on the side. The rope. Texture in the hair. Again, more pouches. Even the ears poking out from the hair. And again, we're looking at color. It's not just browns and greens and blacks. You're getting these pops of red, the pops of blue, even this plum purple happening. But I'm a big fan of these clear bases coming out. Again, because if you're using these and putting them on terrain, it's something where you'll be able to see the terrain underneath, and it makes it far more immersive. And this is speaking as one who uses terrain in miniatures. Yes, Jonathan. Perfect timing, Jonathan. We are shifting over to clear bases on miniatures. If for some reason you are getting a miniature and it still has a black base on it, it just means it's sort of an older reprint or an older set. But you will be seeing, pardon me, I have a little fuzzy on my thumbnail. You will be seeing these clear bases getting put to use. All right, so this is going to become a thing. So hopefully within the next year or so, you'll be seeing this transition over. But I'm a huge fan of it. I really very much appreciate what it does once it goes onto the table and you can see everything showing through and playing through. Especially, you know, if you're using things like your very detailed tile terrain and everything like that. It's wonderful. And it also helps when you're in combat and you can see where everything's going. Here we go. This is another one of my favorites, and you're going to see why. So here you have the Erdafan Azrina. Azrina. Look at this. Remember how I was talking about colors? Look at the vibrancy. You have this periwinkle blue, this bright spring green, the metallics on the shield and the helmet, even on the boots. The boots have this ridiculous amount of texture, and it's being detailed. Look at that. This is another one of my, I saw this one, I was like, oh, I like this. Here's the back view of it. Again, your clear base, labeled, number and everything. You're going to have that on all the bases. No need to base a consummate nerd. Oh, you're talking about the clear. Yeah, no need to base and better for every scenery type. It's true. I mean, if you're doing your campaign and you're going to different places, you can have them on snowy terrain 1 minute and, or next session, you can have them in a forest. And no need to worry. But I mean, it's the details that are popping out, that are being added, that are being incorporated into these sculpts. It really, I'm quite thrilled to see them. All right, so there's that one. Moving along, this one's fun. All right, this one is just fun in general. So here we have, ooh, helps to have it in the right way. So this is the Zon Kuthorn. Oh, Midnight Lord. When do you see this? Look at that. All right. The spikes alone are just fantastic. There we go. It's got some paler skin, so I'm having to cup it so the studio lighting doesn't flare it out. But you can see it's this fantastic mix of metallics and sort of like this red leather. Let me get them into the right sweet spot here. And you have this the translucent plastic spell effect working around. So you can see everything underneath playing through it. But again, you have this edging detail. You have these little touches. See here? Those little touches coming out. Even along the arms. Look at that. This one's just, it's wicked looking. And that sneering snarl. I love the snarl on the face and the arched brow. It really is an amazing detail. And you can see here, even the chain link details are happening. So there's a lot going on with this particular mini. But that's another one you're going to find in the set. I'm sorry, Ron. I just saw your comment. It totally caught me off guard. A punk bard. Oh, that would be kind of cool. That would be. Okay. Okay. I can get behind that concept. We have 2 mediums left that I'm going to be featuring today. So here we have the animated dream. And I think this one, this is just, it's got this wonderfully creepy effect to it. Again, floating on this mist-like cloud, this dark gray mist. And the skin is almost an amethyst purple. The hair is this jet black, highlighted with a lighter gray. But you have these sinewy limbs and these creepy, almost like tendril-like fingers with this massive grin on its face and those glowing red eyes. There we go. Look at that. I mean, that's not something I'd want to wake up to or even have in my dreams. But it's just such a great concept, and the lines on it, it's just something unique. Look at, even the hair has a lot of texture to it. You can see the rib cage underneath the skin. So it has this very gaunt, emaciated look to it. Very well done. I'll show you the back. You can see all that texture in the hair playing through. And just that creepy cloud that it's standing upon, sort of lofting it up into the air. So there's that one. And then finally for the medium that I have to show you, this one is the Witchword. And this one, talk about vibrant colors. This is another one I want to keep out on display. You can see all this edge work happening, as well as a highlighting to bring up the texture. Yeah, it looks like some evil unseelie. Yeah, definitely consummate nerd. The way you have both spell effect going on here with this one is clear plastic. So you have the clear plastic spell effect happening along the two lower arms and the two upper arms. I think I had a cat walking around on my table earlier. The two upper arms are holding the weapon above the head, and again you can see metallic detail going on through here. But might need to cut this because it's such a pale blue. It's a mix of this very sky blue and then navy blue happening on the arms. And the robes are mustard yellow and a vivid orange. Truly a beautiful color orange. I love the combination of yellow and orange together. You have the bright yellow wristbands, but here it is from the back, and you can see that edging detail going through. All those little extra touches. It's just so cool. It is, yes, it's an interesting design. I like the pose of it. It is something that, you know, you don't see a lot of poses like this. Yeah, I mean, you don't see a lot of creatures with four arms either. But just the way it is posed. And I like how you have like I'm muffling my mouth, but I like this. I like that you can see the eyes peeking out of the top while the rest of it is sort of masked over. But that's the mediums that I have from the preview box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift these closer to me. And now we're going to move on to our large based ones. So let's move these all forward. And then we'll go to our huge, and the Mengkare is the gargantuan. Let's see here. So we're going to start off with this one. This is the Emperor Cobra. And this is one I definitely want to keep out because, hello, look at the texture in this. So here, I'm going to show you the front first. Let me, trying to get it so it's not completely, there we go. So you can see there's all this fantastic texture that runs down the belly. Yoink, there we go. In this, again, it's one of those light blues. It's not quite a sky blue. It's more of like an icy blue with these white accents happening. And it's the same color that's going on the tips here, all right? You can see the face has this powerful jaw to it. Red glowing eyes. It looks like it's ready to open its mouth and unhinge it. I'm not even kidding. It's got this great about to take action pose, and I love it when miniatures have that. But here is what I wanted to show you is the back. And hold on, I have a little, that's it. That wasn't a scratch. It was like a little piece of cardboard stuck to it. But look at the scales. I am, as a mini painter, I love feathers, scales, and fabric when it comes time to painting them. And look at the texture this has on it. The more you move it around, you see just at different angles. Because the texture is so nicely done. They're really deep details, so it pops out. So that is the Emperor Cobra, and that's a large. Moving on, this one is like my favorite or one of my favorite because it is adorable. And this is the giant stag beetle, but it's also the coloring on this one. So it has these big black eyes, which kind of gives it a cutesy little anime-ish look almost. And again, it's that plum purple mixed with, it's sort of a lime green, and it shifts into a very pale orange, almost like a peach tone. And it has this shimmer to it, which is what's getting picked up right now by my lights. So it has this shimmer going on with it. There, that gives you a good idea of all the colors I'm talking about. So it's a classic beetle form, but it's the coloring that really pops. And this is fun, so you can see it from the bottom. You can see even all this texture that's happening on the underbelly of it, in the thorax. And you get the joints happening in the legs. That's another one. Again, fantastic use of color. And now moving on. This is Norn. So here is Norn. And look at, this is what I wanted to point out for Norn. You have this painted on pattern. It's reminiscent of sort of like a Greek lock and key pattern. It happens not only on the edge of the skirt, but also the edge of the cuffs here. Pair of scissors happening right over here. Black horns wrapping around. It's a pale blonde hair. Let me show you this hair. Again, I'm going to have to display it in a certain way with the light. Here we go. It is all braided, and you get the individual texture of braids in the back here. It's ridiculous how beautifully done these are. You have the ends clasped with little bits of silver. I'm trying to cup some of the light away here so you can see. There we go. You have the ends clasped with little bits of silver. Every bit is a braided strands of hair. And then you have the great texture in the fur cloak. Even the horns. See, the horns have a great ridged texture to them. The folds in the fabric. You have the spindle being held. And the shears or scissors. And just this intense glare as the expression. You know, the mouth is open. It's not exactly smiling, but you can see the teeth are being bared. So yes, and notice again that transparent plastic. So lifted up off the ground effect happening as well. Move this around so you can see. This Gamer's Room had an Emperor Cobra in the Dungeon Deep set. New model or new paint? I believe it's a new model. So there's this. And again, clear base, all that goodness. Oh, let's take a look at this one. This is another cool large. This is the Wood Giant. And I am very much, again, I'm going to do a spin around. You can see all these fantastic little details. I mean, the belts are tipped with silver. You have these silver markings happening here. The wraps around the boots being a different color than the boots themselves. The quiver. I have to take a sip of water soon. Texture in the hair, texture in the fur over the shoulder, the folds in the leather. Even the musculature and the skin texture. See? A very distinct texture to the skin. And it's this great mix of earthy greens and browns. So it plays nicely with each other for color scheme. And even with the positioning of the hand and the rope detail. So this is the Wood Giant. I just saw that you're getting a haircut and that's final. So there. Everyone's got their COVID hair going on. Oh, you two, please be nice. I know I just said this, the dreaded, the stay-at-home haircut. Yes, they are named and numbered on the bases. It is, because of the clear base, it's a little bit tricky to show, but let me see if I can get an angle. See right there. You can see it's sort of like etched on, like you know how glass can be etched with designs and patterns? Think of it that way. But the information is on the bottom of the bases, even though they're clear. Can you see that? I'm hoping you can see that. It's showing up on my OBS, but There you go. Just to give you a sense of what it looks like. Is the hand detached? Oh, you're right. It did pop out. Thank you for catching that. There we go. Pop back in. So that's something I'll have to go back in and do a quick super glue. And again, I'm always going to say, because there is one that is going to be some assembly required, whenever you go to glue your minis, please, 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 please do not use glues that are gel-based. Glues that are gel-based become brittle, all right? They flake, they fall apart, and your bond is not as strong. Go for a classic liquid. My preferred brand is the Loctite, but really any brand of a super glue-esque liquid is what I recommend for these. So that is the Wood Giant. And then, God, my left arm is getting a workout today. And then we're going to take a look at this last fellow. And this is the Cavern Troll. And I love it. Look at him. The texture on this one is ridiculous. And it's brought out so well. So you have this taupe-based brown. And then the Hylian that goes on with a lighter tone. And it's craggy and it's stony, but then you get this crystal work of this very vivid topaz blue with this pearlescent shimmer to it. And it carries through not only on the crystals that are on the shoulders and down the arms, but also into the teeth and the eyes. Oh, you know, yes, but look at this. Even the expression. And I want you, this sounds weird, but I want you to look at the feet. Because even the feet are super detailed. The toes have a texture to them. It's almost like they're joint-like. And there's like slight hints to toenails, as weird as that sounds. So that's the front of this fellow. Here's the back. Look at that. I love these crystals. They have these nice points to them, but they also have like this curvature. They're not just straight out and pokey-uppy. That's a technical term. But it's such a great juxtaposition of having this very matte stonework, and then it goes into this very vibrant, vivid, shimmery crystal work. It's such an amazing combination. So this is the last I have in the large ones. Oh my goodness. Let me put this over here. Oh wait, no, take it back. One more. One more is on a huge base, but it has, let's talk about that one. That's another important one to point out. Because of these clear bases, what we can now do, especially for larger minis that need a little bit of a bigger base, but not necessarily are of that base size, what you are going to see, and this is the Fleshwarp Urnicurse. What you're going to see, like this one, it's technically large, but it is on a huge base. What you are going to be looking for when this happens is when you see this frosted ring on the bottom of your clear base, okay, this one right here, that is what its technical footprint is. This is to help the mini maintain its balance and be stable on the table. And I did not mean to sound like Dr. Seuss, but hey, here we are. So this is something to keep an eye out with the clear miniatures, because when it comes time to put it onto the table, it's going to be a little fuzzy, but you still get a sense of it. You can see the ring shows up. All right. So you know, as the game master and as your players are there, this is what you're working with. This is just to make sure it's not going to topple over or anything like that. So please keep that in mind when you see miniatures coming in. But let's take a look at this beauty. This is the one I love to hate. All right. In terms of, it is so gross looking. It's fantastic. But I don't do well with things like zombies and fleshy, golem-y things. The fact that this is making me like queasy is a very good sign. It's so good, it's making me sick. But let's do a little fashion shoot of this one. As you can see, you have this combination of a bloody red and the flesh tone for the skin, okay? Neutral flesh tone. And it also has Oh my god. It has sort of like this multiple teeth, jaw, broken thing going on for the mouth. And there's this fantastic gloss to it. So it gives it a very wet. You can almost hear this, Minnie. Do you know what I mean when I say that? You could hear this, like you can hear like type of stuff happening. Shazam. Shazam is all hard eyes. But yeah, this and the bones protrude. Guys and gals. Oh my god. You can see the bones protruding out of the top. It's so disgusting. It's amazing. Like in the best of ways. Please understand what I'm saying. This is perfection in creepy grossness. It really is. Oh, funny. Yeah, the glossy finish. Thank you, Benebula. The glossy finish on this, like that's where I pulled it out because when I first opened it up, it was in dim lighting. So I didn't get this glint of light on it until I pulled it out of the box. And then when I saw it out of the blister, I was like, oh, this is a fun one. It's thank you. Yes, thank you, Hooligan. It's beautifully disgusting. It's like this is the level of ew you want for this. It's just, oh. So it's one of those things where it's a lot of fun and it's really cool to see in action. And I think it's just, oh, and the eyes. That was the other thing I want to show you. The uneven eyes. Look at that. Ah! It's just, the offset, yep. This is, like I said, this is the one I'm absolutely, I love to hate it because of how gross it looks. It's just, oh, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, so that is the last of the larges. All right. So I'm going to put those over here, and now we're going to move into the huge ones, which I think you're going to especially enjoy because of the details. The first one I'm going to show you is the Mammoth with Ryder. Now, there is also a Mammoth without Ryder, so keep that in mind. But here you have this fantastic creature with its Ryder. And the detail in the fur and the war paint, along with the texture and the tusks, are just wonderful. See? You have all that going on. The padding on the back. And the Ryder themselves, the wraps have this texture detail to them. You have the necklace, the wrap around the top of the glaive, and even at the base here. The Ryder does not come off. I want to make that very clear. It's not like RV Race where you can yoink the Ryder off, because there has been that question. It doesn't come off. It's glued on. You can try and take it off if you want to, but that's going to be a problem. Don't do it. It's attached. It is firmly attached, see? No wiggle, nothing like that. But this is a really cool one. Let me show you the back with the tail. So that is the Mammoth. Mammoth Ryder. And again, there's one that's just straight up Mammoth. It just wants a toothbrush. I'm assuming that was for the previous video. So I'm going to put that one over here. And then let's take a look at this one. This is the Arboreal Regent. Or Arboreal probably. But this is a fun one too. Especially because of the leaf detail at the top. Pull it back. The bark-like texture everywhere. And I don't know why, but the feet are catching my eyes on these. Again, you have this great root-like texture for the feet splayed out. And you can see the texture of the bark right there. All that detail that goes into that. And then I'm actually a big fan of the face. It doesn't have full facial features, but there are nods to it. And the eyes especially. I like how those are done. And you can see twig-like fingers. And look at the texture and the stack of the leaves through here. All of that. His bark is worse than his bite. Okay, consummate nerd, but bump. You got that one. But this is one of my more favorite of the huge. But I'm also like, you know, I like my druids, I like my rangers, so shocker. Let me show you the back portion. Just the swirls even. There we go. That's what I want you to see. It's just fantastic texture everywhere. And it's a variety of texture too. From the lines in the bark to the rippling looks of the leaves. It's just, I personally find this to be quite beautiful, and I probably am going to put it somewhere on display as well. I have to do like a rotation of the minis I have on display. I really do, because there's so many great ones. Now we're going to move on to this. This is a beauty. So here we have the Shawgoth. And it's another one of those creepy gloopy, but it's more fish-like. Like this reminds me like almost as if you went fishing and you're fishing in some strange waters and you pull this out. That's how my brain is working on this one. But look at all of these details. The variety of these very vivid lime green eyes. These various grinning, toothy mouth, maws. The gaping maws. It was a popular thing in roleplay games. And it's this glossy black. So it's almost like liquid tar. You know, like a hot summer's day when tar is starting to melt and like you get a shoe stuck in it and it pulls up. I need a bigger house. You sure, Ron? Why'd you get a bigger house? Because I had too many minis. I think Shazam is just fully for this one. So I'm trying to, because this is one where you want to see it from the various angles because there's so much happening. I didn't even notice that one there. See? I've looked at this a couple times and look at, like, there's a little mouth right there. It's just, oh. This is one of the more primal forms too. It's so creepy. I love all these eyes. I'm just going to move it around a little bit so you can see there is this great liquidy texture to it. And it has a slight gloss to it. It's not as glossy. I'll put them side by side. Not quite as glossy, but there is a gloss to it. You can see this one looks more wet. This one has a glossy look. This one looks like it's wet. So there's a little bit more going on with this one gloss-wise. Whoops. I just knocked over the blood mist. Let's put that back there. So yeah, there's that one. Ugh, so cool, so fun. Now we're going to move over to this. This is another fun one. Oh, Shazam, honestly, like it's a beautifully strong, detailed set. This is definitely, the collectability of these is amazing. I'm going to be very hard pressed to determine which ones are going to stay out just as sort of like, you know, little featurette pieces and which ones get put away into like the curio cabinet to keep them safe and dust free for a little bit until I decide that I want them all out again. So this is the Lang Spider. And this is chocked full of details. All right, so you have an amethyst purple as its base color with these black talon and the mandible. Yes, the mandible. And these vivid blood red eyes. Look at that. The face gets to be more of this, what color do I want to call that? What would I call that? Mauve. Like a mauvey color. I want you to see these details going in here. Look at all that joint work. The insectoid, and just look at these legs. Look at all that. This is honestly one of those things where it's like you can almost pull this out and just plop it on your table somewhere for Halloween for a creepy crawler effect. So this is, and this, oh, that's what I wanted to show you. Let me see if I can get that. I want to show you the drool. It's kind of an awkward angle. There we go. So you have this, will this be better? Here we go. The little like the slimy drool dripping out of it. Oh, that's another one that's just like, oh, in the best of ways. That's the one that creeps me out. When chaos magic goes cray-cray. You don't do spiders? Oh, I should probably speak spiders. Sorry, too late. So that is the spider form itself. You can see it has a stretch of web for this dangling effect. But let me show you the web. The web is gorgeous. It has this very pretty pearlescent look going on. And as you move it around, you see all of this texture happening with it. Now there is some slight flare out because of my studio lights. That's just sort of a fun little, see if I can, there we go. So you can see what's going on here a little bit better. Closer, here we go. Trying to find my sweet spot, there we go. But yeah, it's this great web piece so that you can have this upside down setup for it. And it's just, it's so creepy. Again, you can see this shows off the wording better. So you can see for the previous question, yes, they have their names and everything on there. Like all the other bases had, it's just the bases are clear now. It is a really cool one. Well, thank you, Shazam. You're definitely going to see an uptick in terms of details and quality and everything that's going into all of the miniatures that are coming out. I can't wait for you to see what's on the horizon. There's some of the things I can speak to, other things not so much, not quite yet. Okay, this is like my utmost favorite one from the Huge because it's very cool. And this is the Adamantine Golem. And the weight on it is, I mean, you know how I am. I like to sound off. Okay. So it has heft to it, which I'm a fan of. Again, this is one of those, could pull as a random Huge from the booster or the bricks. But look at this. There's hammer work in the metal texture. And again, this is another one of the ones you can almost hear. You can hear like the fires brewing inside and the smoke billowing out the top. Look at this detail. And look at that. I'm a huge fan of this combination of the transparent plastics worked with the opaque plastics for these various details. Like little details like this. Look at the little curve to the toe. And let me pull out, hold on, let me get you a medium. Just so you can appreciate the heft. That's with a medium placed on its base. Right? I like that. How much adamantine did someone have? Clearly a lot. But look at this. I'm going to do a little spin around underneath because the details carry even underneath. Look at all of this. I mean, obviously the feet, different story because it has to be attached to the plastic, but it's this texture, it's this hammered texture that really, for me, it gives it the look of a very heavy metal. Not like, you know, music, like the actual metal. And the interior glow with the transparent orange. This is one, when you get the lighting shining at just the right angle, it looks like it glows. It really does. Maybe I should get like a pen light. Now that I'm saying that, I think I'm going to invest in getting a pen light so I can show you what I mean. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. And then there's one more to go. Last one before we call it, because it's already past 1. Thank you so much for staying with me all this time, everyone. This is the one where I said you're going to have some assembly required. All right, this is the Jabberwock. Now, first of all, I love Jabberwocks. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So here you have, and this is where I need to play with the focus again. Here we go. So here's the Jabberwock. Oh, I still need to play with that. When you get this, this is going to come in 3 pieces in your booster. The 2 wings are separate from the body. Now, you will see in the body itself, there are these open grooves, okay? That means you're going to put your glue into those open grooves on the body. Give it about 10 seconds exposed to air. And then you will slide in the wings and give it time to set, and you'll be all ready to go. So you do need to assemble this one together. So I wanted to make sure you're aware of that. I did that ahead of time. But this Jabberwock is ridiculously textured. And that's what I want you to see. You can see, this is what I'm talking about. Right here is where those joints are, okay? And they are deep set joints. So once it's locked in, it is locked in nicely, okay? You know, Shazam, I have been dying to play one of those for quite a while. I'm not even kidding. Can you imagine a campaign with like an Alice in Wonderland feel to it? Hello. Although, quite frankly, many of these miniatures would work for something like that. But again, this is for Darklands Rising with Pathfinder. But I want you to see all this detail on here. And again, like the Mengkare, perched up on a craggy rock, slightly different color stone. And you have these lovely striations happening here with the scale work. Even, look at the talons. I don't know why I'm locking on to the feet, but there you are. Just all these little bits and angles you can see. And it has some heft to it as well, so I'm trying to be slow in moving this because I don't want to drop it out of my hands. There, that kind of gives you the back underneath of the wings. You can see the fleshiness of it, as well as the leathery texture. Yes, it is the Jabberwock. And again, you get these tendrils going on here. It's almost like this fish meets dragon permutation look is the best way to describe the aesthetic. Fishy dragon. Is that a thing? Could be. But that's what it reminds me of. And again, just this, and all the highlighting and the details that are just being brought out by it. It's a beautiful piece. Compliment the toenails and slowly walk away. The mouth is very well done too. I love how it is this open and the different styling of teeth. So you have the front teeth. They almost kind of like not a tusk. What's it called? I forget what it's called. There's a technical term for it. But you have like this first tooth. It could probably open up a can if you want to. A little can opener mouth. And then the smaller teeth going along the back of the jaw and the tongue. Again, this is a screaming out loud, ready to attack pose. And it's just lovely. It really is. So that is the last of the huge that I have to show you in the mix. It's a stunning piece, but heads up, you just have to make sure you glue the wings into the sockets. But that was very easy. It took me maybe less than a minute to have that all happen. But those were everything that I have to show you. So that was, how many minis was this today? Some of them minis. Let me just get these shifted back over. So we had, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 from the box, and then the Mengkare. Which I'm going to bring the Mengkare up again one more time. Let me switch to the other screen. For those of you who came a little bit later, I want you to see the Mengkare. This is the premium one for the Darklands Rising set. So here's the Mengkare. Again, this gorgeous, gorgeous, vibrant, shimmering metallic gold, yellow gold, and more of a white gold-esque happening down the throat and on the belly. Rabbit teeth. It almost does look like rabbit teeth, except there's just no slit. It's one tooth in the front. So here's the Mengkare. I love how it's perched on the stone. And the shape of the tail, honestly, the way it's like looped up, ready to whip out. It's a beautiful piece. This is definitely one I'm keeping out and on display without question. There's no debate. This is one that's going to be, because I like to have these hanging out every so often for things like when I'm on different streams and what have you. But this is the Mengkare. So Mengkare and the booster and bricks are all available for pre-order. Everything is releasing January 20th. 2021 this year, contact your FLGS. Let them know you are interested. If you want to find an FLGS near you, it is the whizkids.io/local store. Plug in your information and it'll give you a list of FLGS near you. If there is not an FLGS near you, then that's where you go to shop.whizkids.com. Plug that in and you can place your pre-order through there. You can also just check out the general webpage over here for whizkids.com. If you go into products, you will see the webpage for the Darklands Rising in its entirety. But this is the Pathfinder Battles, Darklands Rising from Paizo. It's a beautiful line. It truly is a beautiful line. So again, this is a suggested MSRP of $89.99. The boosters, and again, we talked about this in the beginning. I'm going to reiterate this about the boosters. So the boosters you will be getting for $19.99. The bricks, which is 8 boosters pulled together, that is $159.92. All right. The reason for the price increase with this is because the mix has been jazzed up a little bit. So you are going to get 2 options with your booster, what you could possibly find in the booster. So it's either going to be a combination of 2 large, then either 2 small/mediums, or you're going to get 1 huge with a combination of 3 medium/small miniatures within the box. So it's an uptick in terms of the type of miniatures you're going to get and the variety of miniatures that you're going to get. Really, it's a beautiful line. The variety is stunning. It truly fits into the whole setting of Darklands in terms of there being, some of the more, like I said, primal and savage type of creatures, as well as the more civilized, NPCs, PCs type of setup going on here, different cultures and everything like that. Extremely well done. I love all the detail work that has gone into these. And I am so glad that you all have managed to stay here with me for over an hour to take a look at these, because honestly, I think it's important to see just everything that is happening and everything that is going on, the increased detailed work, the changeover in the paint and the details, the use of the different types of plastics from the opaque to the transparent to the clear. It really does make each mini stand out on its own because of those extra details. I can't wait for you all to get your hands on these and take a look at them personally. And it's one of those, let's see here. When do I think I can tease the Boneyard set? Hopefully soon. There are other things I'll be doing unboxings. Next week, what I want to do is I want to show you the 4D settings, the Ballista and the Trebuchet, because those are something that are lots of fun. And I thought it'd be cool to take a time for those and just but pull them out of the box so you can see everything that goes into them. But for today, this was a Pathfinder day, and I have no complaints because, quite frankly, Darklands is, it's a beautiful line. Like, it's beautiful. To the point that some of them are so ugly, they're beautiful. Okay, so that being said, tune in with me next week. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the Ballista and the Trebuchet, so you can take a look at those. This is the pre-painted variety. And if you have any questions, make sure you hop over and check out our social media. I have that all in the description below, as well as information in terms of the MSRP and the SKUs for all the different products that you saw today. Again, you're going to be looking for these gorgeous purple and gold boxes when you go into the store. That is for Darklands Rising. And we have also had some reprints that have come out over the past couple weeks. So if there was something in the past that you've wanted to get your hands on and it wasn't in stock, check with your store and see if it's back in stock because of that little factor. And I think that's everything for today. So once again, if you are new here, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This was tons of fun. Chat, you are fantastic as always. I always enjoy your commentary and your little side notes. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and I'll let you know when I go live again next week. And I'll also let you know when Much Ado About Gaming is going live, as well as when we have uploads for our HeroClix unboxings with Scott Porter. And I'm trying to think here. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? I think we are good. So I'm going to wrap this up the way I like to wrap up every single stream that I do. I'm going to tell each and every one of you, thank you for joining me. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye, everybody.